This one pod is equivalent to one pack of cigarettes and 200 puffs. Inhale that in your body.
Here's one that's charged by an iPhone charger.
Different flavors, strawberry, peach, mint, whatever you want.
And that's the biggest epidemic right now. The FDA is trying to get involved as much as possible with it because what they're
But
realizing.
it should be socially acceptable, right, Mr. Bradley?
I'm sorry?
Do you think it should be socially acceptable? That's
What's-
what you-
what's
no,
that?
Just because your YouTube videos say that we should allow it, so I'm just
You
questioning.
should allow what?
We should allow children to
Absolutely
vape.
not.
We
You should not have
question.
tobacco-
We shouldn't question kids. We shouldn't
You
ask.
should not have tobacco
We should
products.
prevent. So I want to be clear tonight, because here's our time to defend
Perfect.
against your YouTube video.
Excellent, perfect, so let's do it. Let's try to defend it. So here's the question. Do you give the kid a Miranda warning based upon the policy of the school?
We're not talking about Miranda warnings. We're talking about they're bringing in a product that is inhaled that they should not have.
I'm asking a question.
Period.
You guys don't get done.
Thank you very much for putting them out there.
It's not in
It's a
there.
rule.
It's not in there.
It is here about vaping.
No, the vaping's okay. We agree no vaping. Everybody understands that. We're talking about the fact that can you walk up to
Questions
a...
regarding the.
Yes, I have a question.
Andy, I think you had a
Okay,
question.
so the question is...
I did, but I'm over.
Oh, go ahead,
That's
go ahead,
okay.
Andy.
No,
Okay.
Dave, go ahead.
I'm very patient.
You're gonna run me over
Plenty
anyway,
tape,
so go
plenty
for
tape.
it.
Go ahead.
Go for it. No, the only thing I wanted to say at the culmination of all of this, what is our graduation rate?
Right now, we're around 90-some%, but again, that can be varied because we try to work with students, so some kids, they stay back, we have a high credit requirement. We're very, very positive.
5-year cohort, 96%.
5-year, 96%.
Which I think is very reflective of the effort of our administration staff to put rules in place that we have. Commend all of you in our administration, our teachers, for the care, the love that they show our kids to achieve what they do throughout their years in school to make them productive citizens when they enter the world, whether it's going to college, the military, out into the workforce. You guys do a tremendous job, and I think you demonstrated that very, very well to us tonight.
And I think again, on that, again, our hope is, as all parents or guardians, is that when kids get out there, we've taught them enough, and teach them enough to make good choices, because they're going to make poor ones, and there's going to be consequences. We just hope when the time comes, I think everyone in this room has a time when they had to make a choice, whether good or bad, and there was there was an end to, based upon that choice that you made. And so again, we just hope we do our best job with the kids and teach them to make the right choices, and if they screw up here at school and don't screw up after they graduate, then that's a success. Maybe that lesson was well received and well taught and well learned here in the school.
Can I say one thing to Mr. Cleaver? When I was principal at high school, I had 4 deaths in about a month, 2 months, and they were all past graduates. But the biggest thing, and I think everyone in here feels this way, we treat all these kids as they're our kids, our own kids, personally. I'm sick and tired of people saying, oh, good kids, bad kids. They're all good kids. I don't care what side of the tracks you come from. I don't care where you were born or anything else. You're a human being, and you need to be respected. You give respect, you get respect. And that's all we're here for. I have 4 boys. All of us have kids here. I'm not judge and juror God and think I'm mighty and better than anybody else. But all I ever asked was if something was going on, I would hope someone would come to me and tell me so they could get the help. We're not a judge. I've been called many names because the parents, when you bring them in and say something to them, and I've been to many funerals. And again, it's not done to be a judge. It's there to get help. Because parents are frustrated, grandparents are frustrated, and rightfully so. So it's not to sit there and say, ha-ha, or I'm better than you. It's there to say, what can we do to get you help and to do the right thing to make them successful? That's what it's all about. That's the bottom line.
Anyone else?
I have a couple questions for you. So, what I understand, if I'm hearing it right, for the high school, the principal and vice principal write up the handbook sometime in summertime after reviewing last year's
As a committee.
events, the committee. They make a recommendation to the board, and then the board has to approve or disapprove that handbook.
Correct.
So ultimately, they're the end authority.
They're approved. The handbooks, if they're approved or they're not approved, yes.
Right, so they're the end authority, the government. When we do a handbook, it's a subset, an explanation of policies and procedures of those policies that the board wrote. And state law, which is Pennsylvania school code, and then also state criminal and federal and all those laws too, which are all, like you said, when you researched all the court cases, right? And we learn things from those, and we learn things from other districts, is what we're learning. Many other districts are moving towards a Miranda warning to educate the children how the world works, to say, I'm going to search your locker and you don't have a right to stop me, right? Because you do. But at the same time, you want to educate that child to know the difference between you doing it, like this gentleman said, or that man doing it. Because he's a police officer and he has his first duty is to the law. Am I correct?
My first duty is to the law.
Yeah, so if somebody breaks the law, you kind of can't look the other way.
Correct, I wouldn't look the other way.
You can't, right. It's your obligation. You have an oath of office that you're going to do. Rita has an oath of office to do her duty and not just rubber stamp what they do. She has to read it, understand it, figure it out, and then do their thing. So when it comes to search and seizure for a kid, and when it comes to inspecting their stuff, or even adults on the property when you entered the school, the parents should know, the students should know, and they should be given a warning as to decide whether or not they want an individual that has no due process, but the advantage of looking the other way,
In other words, a parent,
like a parent,
as a parent.
as a parent,
And as a
in loco
parent-
parentis.
As a parent, and I picked this school to send my children to, that gives them the right to be their parent for that 6 or 7 hours a day.
Correct, in loco
Correct.
parentis.
Correct.
Yeah, it's called in loco parentis. But it's really just that part for, not all this portions. It's really only that part for that educational process, and we'll talk to Mr. Schwab or whoever.
It's the same, from what I understand from everybody that's over here, they walk up to the student that was accused of having a knife or drugs or whatever in their book bag or on their person.
Right.
And say, we've been informed that you have a knife or a gun or drugs in your book bag. We would like to search your book bag.
Correct.
That student says, no, you cannot search my book bag. I don't think by law that they can actually physically force him to open that book bag. Then he's got to get involved.
Hold on.
He has that right.
I think you're mistaken. And let's make that clarified. So please clarify for this gentleman, because apparently,
If it's a book bag or locker or something to that.
The locker.
Well, locker's different than a book bag.
no, the book bag too.
Regardless, the book bag,
Hold on.
reasonable suspicion applies to everything. If we have reasonable suspicion that there is some type of illegal item in that bag, and we have reasonable suspicion that it's in there, we can search
You can
it.
search
But
it.
reasonable suspicion of the item you're looking for, or just anything? It's a difference. It's an important difference. It's a very important difference.
Can I talk about how the process has worked?
Hold on. No, what we want to do is document the process so that this gentleman's comment that he just made, that does not follow what this is in here,
No, you want to
is documented.
Make a nifty little video and put it on YouTube.
Yes, sir, because I want everyone to know their rights. I'm about students' rights, parents' rights, and staff rights, because you have a right to protect
I
yourself.
don't need you to explain my rights, Mr. Bradley, please talk about the topic.
We are, it's the handbook, which is the rules that they're going to follow, and they have rights under these rules. And this committee meeting, or this meeting, is to make sure that everyone understands them, because a lot of people do not understand.
We have
in this
said the term
district.
reasonable suspicion 24 times tonight.
What is-
That's the burden that's there. So
But
the
to-
question is, how is reasonable suspicion determined?
No, the question is your standard of reasonable suspicion suitable to do that search? Or is it his standard?
Okay, so, let-
It's not reasonable.
Yeah, you have,
Probable cause.
you probable cause, correct.
Right.
so
Yeah.
here's an example. Okay?
a single student comes to me, I suspect X, okay? Why do you suspect X? What is the evidence? Is there corroboration of some form? Could that be another witness has told me something similar? A third witness has told me something similar. Right there. Could it be there's a claim and the student has a prior offense for something that is comparable to that claim? Could it be Johnny has a weapon in his pocket, I look at Johnny and there's a huge bulge on the side of his jeans? This is reasonable suspicion. That's when a search is conducted. It's not, I don't like Johnny, come here Johnny, take off your shoes so I can see if you have a vape. There needs to be some sort of credible, reasonable documentation, evidence, corroboration, whatever term you want to throw out there and debate later on your Facebook page, that is done. Can I make a statement that's related to this while I'm on my roll?
Taylor, you want to talk to me first?
No, it's not about it.
Actually, I'd like to talk,
I want to make a statement.
before we're
while
done,
I'm here.
after the meeting or before the meeting?
I want to make this as part of the meeting.
Part of the meeting, okay.
One of the reasons, this is my personal belief and not necessarily the opinion of the Lehighton Area School District.
So you're
One of the
talking
reasons,
citizens.
I'm talking as myself, but also within my role. One of the reasons, right here, Mr. Bradley, my mom says it's a beautiful face.
Frame it up.
One of the reasons I believe we are here tonight is because Mr. Bradley and I have a tumultuous political past. About a year and a half ago, I held a campaign event on my home property for Gloria Bowman and others who are running for the Lehighton Area School Board. I was an English teacher at this time. I did this on my own time, funded it by myself, invited people I knew because I believed in the vision of Mrs. Bowman and other people who were running alongside of her at the time. They also, in turn, had the freedom to invite people and to discuss various issues and lay out their vision. Mr. Bradley came to my property uninvited. He parked his car on the blind side of my house, walked onto my patio without my permission, and refused to leave when I asked him to leave my private property. There are witnesses in this room who can attest to that. I asked Mr. Bradley numerous